The Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, Week 6, Sunday, live. If you want to get into a draw for 20 DK bucks, easy way to do so, smash the like button for the episode. Leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section, not the live chat, the comment section. Tell me who your slate breaker for Week 6 is going to be. It doesn't change every Sunday. This is what we're doing, is the giveaway here. Plus, you can download the audio podcast probably around, a lot earlier than normal this week, but probably around like 10:15 a.m. Eastern time. It'll be up on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. But if you want to get into the draw for 20 DK bucks, what you need to do is subscribe to one of those audio podcast feeds for the Pat Mayo Experience. Leave your DraftKings handle in the review, the 5-star review, and just say something nice about the show. We'll be all good to go. Bit of a different lineup for you this week. All of the rankings, DraftKings cheat sheet, ownership, everything like that in the description and comment section of this video and podcast. If you want to follow along, if you want your questions answered a little bit easier, we can do that. And it's just me this week. It's Canadian Thanksgiving. Garion, he's away. Cust, he's away. It's just myself. Paul Shagg's behind the camera, so we might get him to chime in at some point, but it means we're going to get to your questions a little bit earlier than we normally would, so I'll call for the questions at some point, so if you leave them in there now, probably not going to answer them, although I will answer 3 right off the top. Let's go right here. Is Hollywood Brown playing today? I guess we'll get to that here in a second as we go through the injury report, but it's not looking likely. Malcolm Brown or Alshon Jeffrey? I'm going to stick with Alshon Jeffrey here. Actually, let's just get to the injury report so I can just kind of break down this stuff. Maybe this answers some of the questions for a lot of the people. Number 1. No Todd Gurley this week. He is sitting out this game against the 49ers, leaving Malcolm Brown, which is reported to be a featured role. I don't know if I completely buy that. They've activated John Kelly from the practice squad, so they'll have Malcolm Brown, Darrell Henderson, and John Kelly. I would expect to see Malcolm Brown to see at least a plurality of the snaps and touches, probably a vast majority, but him playing like 85%, 80%, I'm dubious. So the DraftKings price is going to be fine. He's $4,300 on DraftKings. There's a lot of running backs down in that spot that if you didn't want to use him, I completely get it. If you wanted to switch on to Miles Sanders or Hyde or AP or whoever it might be that tickles your fancy down in that range, they're acceptable pivot plays. I can see using him. I can see not using him. He's not necessarily a free square as some of these guys tend to be when the spot opens up, because we don't know how the trickle-down effect of backfield work is going to go. For season-long purposes, I do have him ranked as a running back 2. You can check out the rankings to figure out where I'm going with all of those as it pertains to PPR running backs this week. Listen, if you're in a spot where you need a running back, obviously play Malcolm Brown, because there's so many injuries, there's so many bye weeks that if you're just in a spot, play him. Don't worry about it if he sucks. Well, he sucks. It's better than playing no one or picking up some rando off the waiver wire that you know probably isn't going to touch the ball. I would not get tricky and do something like play Darrell Henderson, who we haven't seen much of anyway, and the fact that they activated John Kelly leads me to believe that Kelly's going to be in the mix potentially more than Henderson. If Henderson was so trusted in this offense by Sean McVay, why isn't he playing? I don't know. Looks like Brendan Cooks is going to play too. These are the late games, the 4 o'clock slate, so we're probably not going to know till a little bit later on unless there's an official word put out by Schefter or Rappaport or one of those guys. So the next one looks like Alvin Kamara is going to play against Jacksonville. Good thing that's a 1 o'clock game, so there's no real mystery there. I would expect him not necessarily to be limited, but maybe not as explosive. You're playing Kamara like you normally would. If you had picked up Latavius Murray or thinking about playing Latavius Murray, you can, but I certainly wouldn't trust it. He's not on like a Malcolm Brown tier, put it that way. I still have him ranked, I believe, number 32 in my running back rankings for the week. If Kamara was a scratch at the very last second, I'd probably elevate Latavius Murray to like running back 24. I just don't know how effective he's going to be in this offense without Drew Brees. Like, we always had the idea in our minds that if Kamara doesn't play, that awful Mark Ingram is going to do well, or whoever they throw in. We've seen it over the years, like Tim Hightower. Throw him in there. If he's going to be the lead bell cow back with the Saints, it's all going to work itself out. He's going to catch a few passes. He's going to get all the goal line work and probably somewhere around 20 carries. We don't know if that's going to be the case with Latavius. He'd probably, almost like Malcolm Brown, be in like a 70-30 split maybe, because Dwayne Washington is still the backup there, and they probably just want to use a 2 running back set and take the pressure off of Teddy Bridgewater. The guy to really play in this game, I mean, it's no shocker, is Michael Thomas. He already has that rapport with Teddy Bridgewater. And of the big three wide receivers this week on DraftKings, you have Julio, you have Michael Thomas, and you have DeAndre Hopkins and Cooper Kupp. I like Cooper Kupp the best of these guys. But if you're looking for a leverage play, it does look like Julio Jones and DeAndre Hopkins are coming in with substantial ownership, whereas Michael Thomas is going to be in the single digits. So if you have all those guys rated about the same, Michael Thomas shapes up to be the better play of the bunch if that's where you want to go. David Johnson, likely to play for the Arizona Cardinals. Not sure exactly if he's going to have the full-time workload against the Falcons, who just really struggle against especially pass-catching running backs. No Christian Kirk in this game either. It's at least the way that it's turning out. So David Johnson, probably a pass for me on DraftKings. As I stated on the Friday show, I like Nick Chubb a lot, I like Derrick Henry a lot, and I like Chris Carson a lot if you want to tackle this mid-range, because it does appear like a lot of people are going to pay up for Elliott and then kind of skip over this middle range and then just go down to the 4,000s, which makes a lot of sense. Like you have Jordan Howard down there, like I mentioned. You have Adrian Peterson, you have Carlos Hyde, Kenyon Drake, Tevin Coleman, Ito Smith, Malcolm Brown, Miles Sanders is down in that range as well. All viable options in week 6. So it's really something to look forward to when you're trying to differentiate your lineups a little bit. I do think tackling that middle tier. We'll talk about Carson in a second as it pertains to the offensive line for the Chargers and how the spread is moving in that game. But that's I like Carson a lot, especially with Rashad Penny dealing with this hamstring injury that it looks like he's going to play, but potentially could be limited. I just worry about running lanes against a very stout defensive line for the Cleveland Browns, they got run all over on Monday night. This is a Jekyll and Hyde team. We really don't know how this is going to go. We've already seen the spread drop back down towards the Browns side. That's reverse line movement too, because all of the money right now is coming in on the Seattle Seahawks, and Vegas is saying, you know what? Everyone's off the Browns. Let's entice people to bet the Seahawks a little bit more. So I actually do like the Browns. I picked them on the spread pick'em show. I don't feel confidence in it. I'm not going to bet it, but if you're in a pool or you're playing in a Super 7, anything like that, the Browns could end up being a nice, not only leverage play pick because everyone's taking the Seahawks, but they have a very good chance of covering this game and winning at home. More injuries to talk about, though. Tyreek Hill is a game-time decision for the Chiefs. I do have lineups that have Tyreek Hill in them. I'm waiting. Obviously, this is an early game, so we're going to know when the actives and inactives come out. You do play with fire a little bit. Actually, more than a little bit. Substantially with Tyreek Hill if he's active, because how healthy is he going to be? The one thing to think about here is they turn around on a short week playing on Thursday night. So if Tyreek Hill is not fully good to go, I would not expect him to play whatsoever. So if he is going to play, that's kind of an indictment that, hey, he's good to go. He's going to play this week. He's going to play on the short week. We're full systems go. And Sammy Watkins is going to sit here. Byron Pringle is the one that everyone is going to go to at $3,500. And I really can't make a case against it. He's playing the Sammy Watkins role in this offense, even if he ends up with 6 targets in this game against a middle tier pass defense like the Texans. He should be good enough to pay off his price pretty quickly, and he allows you to do so much. Like if you really want to make a stars and scrubs lineup this week, and we're looking at something like, you have Pringle in there and you take Malcolm Brown, and maybe you do want to play Adrian Peterson. Those are the 3 guys that you want to play. Then you pay down for, hell, you can even use, I like Arizona's defense as the cheap defense at $1,900. A lot of people are going to the Jets at $1,500 with Dallas now down 2 offensive linemen. It doesn't look like Smith or Lyle Collins is going to play this week. So if you do that, you can essentially just build a super team for the rest of your lineup. If you want to pay up for the expensive part of that Chiefs-Texans stack or go full stack with the Cardinals and Atlanta, anything to those different degrees or whatever shootout game you like the best, that could be the move that you take right off the top, and it can afford you the ability to do that. Of the defenses down here, now that we're looking at them a little bit, the Chiefs tend to be pretty popular. Like I said, I'm using the Cardinals. The 3 defenses that I'm rolling through my lineups this week are the Cardinals for a cost-saving lineup. I have the Rams in a bunch of spots, and I have the Saints in a bunch of spots. I know Gardner Minshew was lifted from the injury report, but he's not great under pressure. I know we all like Minshew Walk. He seems like a pretty cool guy. Very easy to root for. And it's not like they're not going to move the ball in this game against the Saints, but the Saints defense has vastly improved since the first 2 weeks of the season. Basically, since Teddy Bridgewater took over under center, that defense has really been elevated and the pass rush has been so good, and the Jags offensive line not so hot so far this season. So I can see him being dropped a bunch of times. I believe he's fumbled 6 times in the past 6 games, not lost them, but you just want that pressure. You want the ability to generate bad throws. You want the ability to generate fumbles, everything like that. So that's really something to look forward to for the Saints defense. I think they will generate a ton of pressure here. And that's another game where the Jags have just become substantially bigger favorites as the week has moved along. I still like the New Orleans Saints in that game. So with Walker, switching back to Tyreek Hill just for a second, I think you play him. You use him on DraftKings, you use him on your season-long lineup. This game is projected to, it's the highest projected point total on the slate. If somehow Tyreek can't go, that does open up the room for Mecole Hardman in this entire mix. And Demarcus Robinson is sort of the leverage play of that game. On the Texans side of the ball, Kenny Stills is going to be inactive, and everyone's just kind of pointing towards, oh, it's going to be Kiki. It's going to be Kiki. Well, with Kiki, his snaps were down a week ago, and that's maybe because he was coming back from injury. He did run a route on around 60% of Deshaun Watson's dropback, so that's nice. But we've also seen the Texans utilize these 2 tight end sets with Fells and Atkins. Duke Johnson can be mixed in there too as a slot option. So I wouldn't really just go to Kiki in this spot, just thinking like, oh, no Stills, fire up Kiki. It could work out, but I think that there are red flags around this. Carlos Hyde is the back that I like in that game as well. Hollywood Brown trending towards not playing for the Ravens. They're now 10.5-point favorites. This is a big reverse line movement game, too. This opened at 12. All of the money in the world is on the Ravens. Looking at it right now, let's see here. 85% of tickets are on the Ravens. 71% of the money is on the Ravens. It's 10.5. Like I mentioned, it was at 12 for a lot of the week. People keep steaming the Ravens. So maybe the Bengals are the sharp side. This is just a pure no bet for me. I'm not even putting it on the Super 7. I'll recap my Super 7 picks here in a minute, but this will not end up making the list. The only sort of viable option here is if you want to get off Pringle in the chalk, which I'm not doing, but Miles Boykin is $3,500 in this game. You're probably just going to see a lot of rushing because the Bengals cannot stop the run. So that awful Mark Ingram, I mean, he'll probably just do nothing besides fumble 8 times. But if you did need to fire up like Gus Edwards in a pinch, this is not a terrible spot for him to get involved this week. He's been involved every single week as sort of the Ingram proxy. He's not really doing much in the receiving game, but if you see him get 5 to anywhere between like 5 and 15 carries, if this game can get out of hand, it's probably a game to limit what Lamar Jackson does in the running game. But I do think that the loss of Hollywood Brown, a lot of people might go to Willie Snead. He's too expensive on DraftKings for my liking. There's just better options in the mid $5,000 range. So Boykin, but Mark Andrews is likely going to play in this game. He's $4,800. No one's really using him because they're either paying up for Kelsey or using Hooper or paying down and using Gerald Everett. That Andrews has been so good almost every single week. Now we're getting him in a leverage spot at low ownership at $4,800. I do like that a lot. So that's something to really look forward to. Also at tight end, Vernon Davis and Jordan Reed are both out. This is a game against Miami. A lot of people are playing Adrian Peterson, but Jeremy Sprinkle is someone to look at in this spot at $2,600. You don't need to save that much money at tight end for someone who's as risky as Jeremy Sprinkle, but this is a very nice situation for him against a really bad defense. If you're just kind of looking for 3 catches and potentially a touchdown, that's what Sprinkle can bring to your lineup this week and give you those cost savings that if you wanted to pay up at another position, you would be doing yourself potentially a service if you wanted to play a Superstars and Scrubs. I think a lot of people will be utilizing that Stars and Scrubs method this week to really jam in all of the superstars that they want, that a balanced build of any sort is going, even if you have chalkier players in your DraftKings lineup, if you just don't take, like, the way to sort of think of it is it's an easier comp in golf to use, but you can use all these chalky guys as long as you don't use like the top 5 guys on the slate. So if you just pass over like the top end wide receivers this week, whether it be Julio or Hopkins, I'm not saying that you'd want to do that, but if you do, and even Cooper Kupp you can throw into that mix because he's going to be very highly owned, but you want to use like 3 wide receivers that were like $6,500 and below, even if they were chalky, very few people are actually utilizing that build. So the build contrarianness of that lineup can kind of take you away from the chalk build, meaning that you can use like these 15%, 20% owned guys and actually still get leverage on the field because you've constructed your lineup in a completely different way. Also in that Redskins game, no Xavier Howard, fire up Terry McLaurin. Cherry Terry is just going to go nuts in this game, especially with Case Keenum back under center. He's my single favorite play from that game. And probably I might use Peterson in a spot just because I think that they're going to end up just feeding him the ball because they're nuts. But McLaurin sets up to be a very nice play with Sprinkle, Pringle, all these weird names. Jeremy Sprinkle as a potential outlier play if you really needed to save the money. I'm not using Gerald Everett anywhere. So the cheap tight end that I decided to use was Sprinkle in some of those spots. More injuries. There is a report that Jeremy Kittle. I'm getting all mixed up with the names this morning. Forgive me. I need to have a swig of coffee, I think, just to right my mind just a little bit. George Kittle. Dealing with an injury. It says he's going to be limited in this game. Now, he could be potentially limited in the receiving game. I like the Rams here, -3. They've been really good under Sean McVay coming off the long week. Obviously, the teams that have played on Thursday night the following week, I believe, are 8-2 against the spread so far. They're -3 at home. But the biggest thing for me in this game, Joe Staley, we know, has already been out, but Mike McGlinchey is also out. So they're losing both their tackles in this spot against a Rams defensive line that can be somewhat potent because, they have Aaron Donald on it. That Kittle might have to block a lot like he did in the first few weeks. Now, if you think the Rams can jump out to a lead in this game, that's why I like the Rams D so much here, is that we haven't really seen the 49ers play from behind a lot this season, if at all. So if you force Jimmy G into a situation where he has to pass upwards of 40 times, that could lead to, we know he's turnover prone. It's just no one really wants to face off against the 49ers right now because they've been so effective running the ball. But if Kittle's banged up, he's been so effective in their run blocking scheme so far, and they're down both their tackles that it's kind of obvious where they want to run the ball, and it's probably straight into Aaron Donald, which is not a great idea. So I can see this game being a bit more limited in terms of how effective the rushing is on both sides of the ball, frankly, for the Rams and 49ers. So at least that's the way that I'm gauging this game right now. You always want to pay attention to offensive line injuries. It's one of the savviest things you can do. It doesn't really affect spreads and lines, but it's so important to the game. It's just like the Cowboys are down they're down their two best offensive linemen. At least that's how it's shaping up. And the other one to look at for two is Seattle. Seattle's going to be down 2 offensive linemen in this game. So that's sort of the Chris Carson conundrum. I stayed away from the props on Carson. It's not like you're sitting Chris Carson this week, but without Dwayne Brown around, without the other guard around, now we're seeing a situation where it might just be hard to open up running lanes. It's going to take a lot of maybe rolling out motion from the backfield. Maybe you have to run Russell Wilson a few more times to open up some of these running lanes, but I could see it being sort of a stiff week for Chris Carson here. He'll get his volume, so he should still be good on that end. And whenever we think of Chris Carson, we know that he's going to get the ball inside the 5-yard line unless Russ takes it himself. So the upside is definitely there. I just don't think he's the highest end play this week because of those injuries. And the only other real significant one to talk about is Hunter Henry is trending towards being back in the Sunday night game. I can't believe after a broken kneecap, he's back this quickly. He too will be somewhat limited. I don't know if that's going to be what his role is going to be, if they're going to ask him to block, because the Chargers are down 2 offensive linemen, no Pouncey, no Russell Okung. Not great news, especially for a Pittsburgh pass defense or rush defense that has really been getting after the quarterback the past few weeks. That could just spell an absolute disaster for at least the deep passing game and some of the routes that Hunter Henry wants to run. And they might need him to block more in these situations as well. If you're in a pinch at tight end, yeah, you can run him back out there. It'd be more of a wait and see thing for me. I have him ranked just outside of my top 10. I would still play someone like Delaney Walker over him this week. It's not just like Hunter Henry is back, fire him up like he's Hunter Henry, and we're all good to go. It's not really the case this week for him. So a few more things. I got some props. I got my Super 7 that I want to get into. I played no spreads this week. I hit my super lock on Thursday, so maybe I'll jump in with a parlay. Maybe we'll construct one here later on in the show. I'll get Paul to jump in, and maybe we'll talk through some of these games and do a show parlay. But I did play a lot of props. It's one of the nice things about scaling back on the spreads is I've been far more successful with the props this year. So let's go right to it. The big 3 props that I'm playing this week, and I've parlayed them together. You can check it out on my Facebook page, my Instagram page, my Twitter page. It's all up there right now if you just want to go check them out, or you've tuned in late and you want to see the props or want to reference back to them. Zane Gonzalez, the kicker for the Arizona Cardinals. The air raid system, good at moving the ball down the field. Cliff Kingsbury, coward hates going for it on 4th and short, loves kicking field goals, a very high projected game. Maybe this is the week it all turns around and they start scoring touchdowns. But hey, you score seven touchdowns, kick 1 field goal, we're good. Zane Gonzalez over 7.5 points. That pays around even money as well. Miles Sanders for the Philadelphia Eagles. We know how stout both of these run defenses are. I almost went to Dalvin Cook, 3.5 on the over of receptions, another prop that I really do like. However, the site that I use in order to do these, if you pick 2 props from the same game, you can no longer parlay them together. Plus, Dalvin Cook, the over receptions was minus 160 the last time I saw it, and that's getting juiced up. I do think it's a very good bet, but instead I played Miles Sanders over 2.5 catches in this game. No Sproles. Corey Clement placed on IR. They're running out a 2 running back set with Howard and Sanders. I don't know how many carries Sanders is going to get, but if this is a game where the Vikings do get up, we're going to see Sanders on the field a little bit more. This is another game where it looks like there's a bit of reverse line movement on the go. Just looking at the Eagles right now, 66% of the tickets and bets are on the Eagles, only 58% of the money. So maybe it's not. Vegas is taking somewhat of a stand here against the Philadelphia Eagles, but that means they have to pass more. That's really good for the Miles Sanders receiving over. Hopefully they just don't use Jordan Howard in a lot of those spots, but he only needs 3. I like that one a lot. And the other one is, I mentioned it with Adrian Peterson. Bill Callahan has come out and talked about how much they want to grind, unless they're like pulling a reverse psychology move here, which I don't think the Washington Redskins coaching staff, now minus their head coach, is really savvy about. But this is a gravy matchup against a bad run defense. I don't know how much AP has left in the tank, so hopefully he doesn't get hurt. But if he doesn't get hurt, over 15.5 carries for Adrian Peterson in this contest. Those are the big 3 for me. You parlay those together, you get plus 585, almost 6-1 on your money. And then I have what I call the parlay booster. So you take those 3 and add these 4 to it. I don't have enough confidence in them to play them solo. I don't like them as much as those other 3, so I'm really hammering down on the other 3. But the other 4 to add to those 3 to make a 7-leg parlay are Derrick Henry over 73.5 rushing yards, the Rams and Niners game over 3.5 sacks, Robbie Anderson over 20.5 yards longest reception, and Dede Westbrook over 4.5 catches against the Saints. This isn't going to be a situation in Jacksonville where Dede Westbrook just plays on the outside and Marcus Lattimore shuts him down. Jacksonville can't win if they decide that's the move that they're going to make. And we saw this last week. To get him off of Bradbury, they moved DJ Chark all around this offense. He played almost 35% of his snaps out of the slot. So I'm not going to be too worried about Chark, but Westbrook is going to play in the slot. If they just have 3 wide receiver sets, Dede will likely be in the slot. If they have 4 wide receiver sets, he is definitely going to be in the slot. And that is really where you want to try to expose the Saints defense. And if they do get as much pressure as I think they can get on Minshew in this game, it's going to be a lot of short passing, which would lead me towards Fournette and Dede as the primary recipients of reception. So over 4.5 receptions, I like a lot. That parlay pays 76.5 to 1. So if you hit that, you're probably good for the year as it pertains to these. My record so far is minus like the first touchdown props, which are like 50 to 1 and craziness like that. The actual like coin flip props, 19-10 so far this year. Hoping to have a good week. Whenever I hit my Thursday game, and I made it my super lock with the Patriots, I generally do have a good week. So we'll see how that all ends up going on. I got some bonus bets for you too. If you really want some DGen action here, I used fantasynational.com, the golf website. Everyone should become a member of that. Sometimes it prints a lot of money. We're in the running for an outright 50 to 1 winner on Cameron Tringali. Zhang Zhang has the chance at the top 5 here. Braden Bailey has a chance at the top 20. It's shaping up, if things break right, for a potentially huge week in the golf game. So I played some Sunday head-to-heads that I also posted this up on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram page, all at the PME if you want to check them out. It starts at 12:15 p.m. Eastern time. That's the first of these matchups. You have till then to get them in. But I like Brendan Bailey over Bo Hogg, plus 150. Wes Roach over Stuart Sink, plus 150. Zhang Zhang over Harris English. It's one I have the least confidence in, but they're giving me plus 137. Zhang, extremely good at ball striking yesterday. Hopefully he can get the putter turned around. And Seb Straka over Carlos Ortiz, plus 137. I played each of those as a solo, and also I parlayed them together 2 separate ways. The parlaying 4 of them all together It pays 34 to 1, so I'm in on that. And I also played 4 three-way parlays, so I give myself an out if I go 3 of 4, and all 4 of those pay around almost around 14 to 1 if you can get all 3 legs of them. So those are the bets for the week. Let's talk about Super 7 for a second. If you play in a spread picks pool, trying to find my Super 7s here. I took a picture of it because I'm an idiot. I'll just bring it up here on the screen very quickly. Tell you who I'm going with. Like I said, I'd play more spreads in the betting market if I had a good lean on the week, but I still like the Saints. I like them plus 1.5 at Jacksonville. I like the Chiefs minus 4.5. This is from the Gups corner. These lines are a bit out of whack because the Chiefs are down. Like the Saints are now plus 3. The Chiefs are now minus 4. And I'm like giving myself away points on those games, but I still like them. I like the Chiefs minus 4.5. The Skins I like minus 3.5. Tennessee, that's my super pick for the Gups corner contest, plus 2. I might end up getting in on that one at some point. I do really like the Titans over the Broncos this week. Dallas, even with their woes on the offensive line, that line is getting steamed towards the Jets. Like, the Jets still aren't good. Dallas beats up on bad teams. Minus 7, I still like it. The Rams minus 3, and Green Bay on Monday night minus 4 are my 7 picks this week in the Super 7. Yet to have a minus 500 week, so hopefully I can get back in like the 7-1, maybe, hell, go 8-0 or 7-0 here, hit my lock, and all of a sudden I win like 2K and have the Super 7 on the go. And then I can get back into the overall running in this contest. But I've been treading water for a few weeks. Hopefully I can come up big this week in the Gups Corner Super 7. And really get after it here. But my favorite one of those 7 is Tennessee plus 2. But I still like it less than all the props, or the 3 main props that I gave you. So I've really funneled my money towards that. I'd give you a Survivor pick, but I'm out. Like most of you out there. It's been a shit year. I mean, every year's a shit year for Survivor. But last week was the double knell in the coffin. Just the Bears just gagging it away in London. Then the Chiefs coming out and just not winning against the Colts. So it depended on how you structured your teams that there are very few people left in Survivor. So congratulations. You might want to start working out different ways with the few people left if it's for big money and being like, hey, let's just all split this and let's get good. Let's be good to go because you've been lucky so far to avoid those bombs. It's not going to happen forever in this circumstance. So that is something to pay attention to. Monday night game, Devontae Adams is out. Jamal Williams is back in. Marcus Valdes-Scantling likely to play, as is Danny Amendola. Mike Daniels out for the Detroit Lions, which really opens up a lot of running room in the middle for Aaron Jones. That's a guy that I'm thinking of. I do like the Packers in that game. A lot of people betting right now. If I go look at it, let's see here. The Lions, Packers. Yeah, a lot of money on the Lions so far this week. That line has dropped from 5.5 to 3.5 in the outright betting market. Paul, you want to jump in for a second?
Sure.
Yeah. What do you make of this?
I was trying to make myself a phoner board. It was pretty funny, but
because you're in the darkness over there.
Yeah, the camera. We put that new lens on, and that new lens, no bueno.
Oh, the new lens is fantastic.
It's fantastic.
It's not great for you having the camera right in your face.
Yeah, I've got like some Amazon boxes behind me. I was just like, there's no way for me to clean this up. There is a light that I could have shone on my face, but
that's an IKEA light. It doesn't match the lights that I'm using right now.
Yeah, I don't know if the people are ready to see me in my Sunday finest.
You listen to all these shows. You do a ton of research every week. We rarely bring you in for football. You host the MMA show. We do the challenge show together. What have you picked up so far for the week of what does it seem like people are doing with their DraftKings lineups, and what are you doing with yours?
All right. So here's what was going to be on the little phoner board. It was going to be my name, but it was going to say plain 100% Jets D.
Really? You're that in on Jets D?
I mean, the line keeps moving that way. I know it's probably it may be a donkey play, but the way I think about it is they're way too cheap, and I can just do so many different things. I can get all the running backs that I want. I can get really good wide receivers in play. I don't have to necessarily take all the cheap wide receivers who I don't think are nearly as good this week or in as good of spots as previous weeks. I don't know. It's one of those things that as the week has went on, I've just kind of forced myself. I'm going all in on it because if they even get if they get a defensive touchdown, they've already got 2 this year.
Well, why them? I mean, they have 3 technical defensive. They have 2 defensive touchdowns and a special teams touchdown. But why them over the Cardinals? I like the Cardinals a lot more. Just there's so much more pass volume in that game.
I just think, I don't know, Matt Ryan, I just don't think is going to make as many mistakes. It's a tough spot coming up into New York. I don't know. Dallas looked pretty bad recently. Hey, it could be a complete donkey play, but I would kill myself if, like, basically it comes down to this. Is like I mess up defense pretty much every single week anyway. So, like, what's any different if I get like a -2 from the Jets? At least they only cost $1,500.
Yeah.
Like, I've been paying up for some of the big defenses constantly. It's just like every time I pay up for them, they get like 2-3 points. So it's like I might as well just purely punt. If it works out, it works out. But at least I'm getting the players in that I want. I only do 3 lineups for the record, though. So it's not like if you're doing 20 lineups, I would not do what I'm doing. If you're doing 3 lineups, I probably wouldn't do what I'm doing. I don't want to be a coward, Pat.
I know. Listen, if you're going to play 3 lineups, you should probably just go all in on those 3 lineups. I got to check the Pat Mayo Experience Listeners League, too. The link is in the description in video right now.
Did it fill this week?
It wasn't filled this morning, which is shocking to me, considering it's a no-rake event.
Yeah, that is.
Let's see.
People, give your head a shake. The link is right in the description of this video.
There are 200 spots left in the Pat Mayo Experience Listeners League league right now.
Literally rake-free.
Yeah, it's rake-free.
And they're only going to make it smaller. Now it's going to be like $30K next year or next week, right?
Yeah. So like at this point, there's still 3,500 spots in it. We need to fill that up to keep it at 3,500 at the very least. It still might drop because it didn't fill early enough, but it's rake free. It's $15 to play. Like, go play that right now. Just stop. I mean, you can do it while you're watching, I suppose, but like that's a 3 max entry. Like, who are you using? Like, so you're locking in the Jets. Is there anyone else that you've locked into all your lineups?
Here's a question that I think is very viable this week. You have Malcolm Brown down there. In a way to differentiate your lineup. We talk about how all of the great tight end options this week. I think it's actually a week where you could arguably, at least in tournament builds and stuff, have 2 tight ends. Why don't you play like a Mark Andrews and a George Kittle or a Hooper, or like rifle those 3 guys through rather than everybody's going to have Malcolm Brown in that flex spot because it's a later game in the day. They're going to have him in that flex spot as they go in. Like, at least it differentiates you at the top, and like Malcolm Brown, you're gonna have a similar build to a lot of those types of people. But Malcolm Brown versus Mark Andrews, Malcolm Brown versus George Kittle. I know there's a few hundred in between them, but like a lot of people are gonna have that build. It really doesn't change it up that much. Gives you some differentiation, and those guys are very, very live to outscore Malcolm Brown.
I agree with you. I'm very curious about how this ownership is going to shake down because I think that there are enough viable options down there. And I don't think everyone's like, Malcolm Brown, he's great. And people are kind of scared of the 49ers, too. That I don't know if he comes in. He'll probably be the highest owned of those low-end guys. But, like, what do you think his ownership is going to end up being? Does he push 20? Does he push 30?
I think he's got to push 20. Especially with David Johnson in, like, you don't have any of those other, those other cheap options at running back right now. Not really kicking into play, right? Like you're not going to get Chase Edmonds. Who wants to play Adrian Peterson?
I'm playing Adrian Peterson in one of 3 lineups.
Is Kalen Ballage, what's he trending towards?
But Ballage is basically like a non-factor here. Mark Walton's going to be the backup.
I'm kind of just scared of this Washington-Miami game altogether.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm playing anybody from it just because, like... All right, so here's the thing, and it has been climbing, so it's been going against my argument. But my problem with it, like last week, everyone was like, "Why would you play the?" Sorry, I'm trying to direct and cut at the same time here. So like last week, you had Cincinnati and Arizona, but like the total was like 49 in that game. So it's like, okay, like these are 2 bad teams, but. At least the total's high. This one was like 39 early in the week. It has been climbing, so that is good. Case Keenum being in probably better for guys like Terry McLaurin and stuff. But I just think it's like 2 bad teams. Why would you want to like sink yourself into a guy like Drake who knows? There's probably some other running back in Miami we've never even heard of, and he's going to get some run if Ballage is out.
My favorite play in this range is Carlos Hyde, though. Like, the Chiefs are brutal against the run, for one thing. You can stack the other side of it if you want to use like Pringle, Kelsey, and Mahomes, or Mahomes, Hill, Kelsey. Carlos Hyde's a logical guy to bring it back with instead of just piling up on DeAndre Hopkins and everything else that goes around with it. But it's a situation where if they get in close, you just have to fade a Deshaun Watson running it himself, and all of a sudden Carlos Hyde scores twice. Hyde and Peterson are so similar to me, but it seems like a lot more people are very comfortable playing Peterson over playing Hyde. I think I can project the volume for Peterson a little bit more than I can project it for Hyde. I think that he's more on either end of how this game could go, because if they get behind by a bunch, obviously you're not going to see a whole bunch of Carlos Hyde in this game. You'll see more Duke Johnson on the field, whereas Adrian Peterson, where they're favorites in that game.
And that line keeps moving, too. Like, they're 4.5-point favorites now, right?
The Skins are?
Yeah.
Oh, the Skins are, the Saints -3. The Chiefs are down to 3.5. Wow.
Yeah, there's some crazy line movement all over the place. But this week specifically, like, we actually did the spread show a little bit later, and like the lines have moved significantly. I always update before every single Sunday show, but yeah, like the Skins 4.5-point favorites now. I mean, that line keeps moving that way all week, and I think I don't know what the public versus. Like, where's the money coming in on that? Are people betting the Skins or?
People are. I will look that up for you right now. People are. I don't even know how much like take is on that game.
Yeah, fair.
I think a lot of people are just kind of like, ugh.
Yeah, nobody wants to be involved in the toilet bowl.
Money's on the Skins, but not a ton. They're up to -6 in some spots.
Yeah, like so the books are seemingly scared of that money. Like,
yeah,
it seems like that's a good Washington in Super 7. I think is pretty much a lock now.
Yeah. Oh, McCaffrey's on the goal line here. See what he's up to. Come on. Oh, no, sneak from Kyle Allen. Where was this when I bet you first touchdown, you jerk?
Oh, Kyle Allen scored?
No, he didn't get it. Should have just given it to Christian McCaffrey again, I suppose. So much, like I guess the money is now back on the Chiefs at a 52% clip now that it's actually dropped to 3.5.
Do you think maybe that has to do with any Tyreek news?
Maybe. I should probably, before we get to the questions here, update myself on what's going on in the world of injuries. But
How old do you think Pringle's going to be?
How owned is Pringle going to be?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He had a concussion last week, didn't he? Like, he left the game with a concussion, I believe.
Did he?
Yeah, but I think he got cleared, or he at least had to go through quick protocol or something like that. That's like the one thing that I haven't seen. I could be wrong. I seem to remember it happening during the game because that was prime time.
I don't see anything.
Byron, I'm typing it in.
Yeah, he was in concussion protocol.
He was. So it's like
during the game, but he was fine. Like he didn't have.
Okay, he came back after. Okay.
Well, I mean, this could be a situation of the Chiefs failing to tell the truth, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's been my one concern with him. He's like cheap, chalk, $3,500. Lots of other receiving options there. Like I think I'm trying to get away from Pringle. I have him in. I have 3 builds. I have one with Mahomes. I'm paying up for quarterback, so I've got Lamar and I've got Mahomes. I'm just paying up just because I'm paying down at defense. I'm able to get these safer quarterback plays. So I have Pringle right now in that Mahomes build, but I don't know.
The guy to, like I said, the guy to probably use in that game if you were to play a bunch of Chiefs-Texans stacks, like it's Demarcus Robinson. Like the air yards don't match up with what he's been actually producing on the field. He should be outproducing the numbers he already has. And everyone's just so enamored with this price of Pringle, and they'll want to pay up for Kelsey, or they'll want to pay up for Tyreek Hill if he returns. It just doesn't seem like anyone's using Demarcus Robinson.
No, I don't think anybody's using him. Nobody's using Mecole Hardman. But if Tyreek Hill's back, Mecole Hardman's really hard to use. But like nobody's using those running backs on Houston. Like it's actually for a game that has 55 total. There's a lot of unused pieces. The issue becomes there's so many pieces on both sides that like which guy has the Will Fuller week, you know?
Yeah. I wonder if it's Will Fuller again this week. Who knows?
I mean, nobody's using Will Fuller, but like his price went up over $1,500, so I can understand why the price is scaring people off. But like, there's no reason why Will Fuller couldn't just go out and do the same damn thing all over again. I was on it last week. I won't be paying up for it this week, though.
The 2 moves that I like, if you do use Malcolm Brown and you put him into your flex spot to give you the ability to late swap, that Chase Edmonds is right there, that if you fall behind in a lot of these contests, knowing that Malcolm Brown is going to be super chalky and like you have no more outs, you can either leave $300 on the table and pay up for Chase Edmonds, and maybe something happens to David Johnson. Who knows? He's already kind of banged up with the back injury, and then you just inherit a very, very easy matchup for Chase Edmonds at $4,600.
Yeah, I think that's a great strategy.
Or just go to Ito Smith or Tevin Coleman. Like if you're behind,
Yeah, if you're not like cashing big after the 1 o'clock slate of games, I think that is the move. I think you're right.
you probably do have to get off Malcolm Brown
Yeah.
in that spot, knowing that you need to catch up.
Yeah.
And you then have to go contrarian. At least all those guys play in the later set of games.
So maybe just lock Chase Edmonds into those lineups because you can pay down for Malcolm Brown if you're ahead. And you know what I mean? You can lock him in and then pay down. If you have Malcolm Brown, you end up overpaying, obviously.
Sure.
Then you don't have room for Chase Edmonds.
The other one would be if you don't want to pay for Pringle. I mentioned Miles Boykin is exactly the same price, but I'd probably try to find a way to get up to Robbie Anderson at $4,000. I think if you're just looking for floor, if you're playing cash games or your season-long lineup, someone like Jamison Crowder is just a safer bet to score points. But if you're looking to win on DraftKings, you need someone with high upside who could potentially see a ton of volume. I really think that Robbie Anderson's that guy at $4,000.
He's the guy with the highest ceiling, no doubt.
Yeah,
but
he could also score.
Jamison Crowder, like you're not going to get 17 targets, 14 receptions, 99 yards. I think he got on that, which is kind of hilarious. But that's Jamison Crowder. But like that 4K. Like shit, if he gets 10 targets, 8 receptions, gets like 70 yards, like he's not killing you. Both of these guys are good plays, in my opinion. I wouldn't be playing both of them at the same time, though. I don't have that much faith in Sam Darnold lighting up this slate.
No, the world is betting the Jets because Sam Darnold is back, and now they're really good all of a sudden. Paul,
Give me Bell.
Yeah,
Give me Bell.
Are Bell and Fournette still like we've talked
think
about
those
all
are
these
the-
cheap running backs? Should you just play Fournette and Bell?
That's what I'm doing.
I'm playing Chubb instead of
I'm
those.
playing those two, and then Malcolm Brown is in the mix. And really, I'm not doing too much. Like I like to keep my running backs for doing three lineups. I just like to keep it super tight. So like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time, it's like kind of middle of the rung. I'm fading the top. I actually really liked Alvin Kamara earlier in the week.
Like no one's gonna use him.
I know, but now I'm scared because he's been injured all week. But who knows how much of that is true?
No,
I think he ends up being a great little pivot play up there. Nobody's gonna use him. People are gonna use Zeke because 7-point favorite versus the Jets. Jets have been awful. Dalvin Cook's gonna get owned. They're not gonna be as owned as they likely should because bad matchup. He's going to have to be utilized in the passing game, which he is, but, it's scary at 8,400. Alvin Kamara, nobody's going to use him. Nick Chubb also. Apparently, the Seattle Seahawks have given up, like, the most yards, or they're up there in terms of screen passes all season.
Yeah,
and,
that's...
Nick Chubb can... Well, he did it against who was it that one? Baltimore that one week.
Yeah, but now
off.
Dontrell Hilliard's back. They tend to use him in the screen game more. Like if you were in a situation where you really wanted to get contrarian and like Alvin Kamara was on the table for you, I'd use David Johnson instead, knowing that's equally as risky as it pertains to health, but he's in just a much better situation in terms of matchup.
Yeah, Bell and Fournette are just the lock and load. I'm hoping, with playing Lamar Jackson this week, I'm just hoping that nobody's actually on Ingram, which is kind of scary because that means he's probably going to score this week, right? Nobody's actually on him. It's actually a good spot. Everyone's kind of scared off. I'm hoping Lamar just steals all of his rushing touchdowns.
Good news for Christian McCaffrey. They ended up going for it on 4th down. He scored a touchdown.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, good for all your season-long teams.
It's true.
You
do
have him everywhere.
First overall pick.
Yeah, it's a savvy move.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to do a call to questions. I got nothing really else to contribute here in terms of the morning, and we've kind of went over bets. Again, all my props for both golf and football are posted on my Twitter feed. They're posted on my Facebook page. They're posted on my Instagram, all at the PME. If you want to see the cheat sheets for either spread picks or DraftKings picks or ownership, hit the description of this video or podcast. You can find all that out right away. All my rankings are also posted in there right now. They'll get a fresh update once I finish doing this show, probably around, 11, maybe 10:45, depending on how long the question and answer situation goes. But that'll do it for me. For the audio podcast version, we're going to hit the viewer chat. Again, the audio podcast is always capped before we get to the viewer chat, so people can go for their run, go walk their dog, go take a shit, wherever it is. Always on Sunday mornings, go download that show right away. And if you want to get into a draw for 20 DK bucks, smash the like button for the episode. Leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section, not the live chat, the comment section. Tell me who your slate breaker for week 6 is going to be on DraftKings. That, or leave an audio review. Subscribe to the audio podcast. Leave a review, 5 stars, DraftKings handle, something nice about the show, and you'll be in that draw for 20 DK bucks. Again, Cust and Garian are off because it's Canadian Thanksgiving, so they're out drinking, having fun, stuffing themselves with turkey. But I'll be back tomorrow, Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern time with Sal Vetri, breaking down all the games, going over the waiver wire, previewing Monday night, and answering potentially some viewer questions as well, maybe about trades and anything like that. So, I'm Pat Mayo. That was Paul Shag. Follow him at Paul Shag on Twitter, by the way. And we'll see you next time. All right, let's get into the viewer chat here. We got some rules. Again, just always smash the like button for the episode. Not enough likes so far. I may have to cut this short. I mean, that's how we kind of do it. We always extend time based on the likes. Share the show around, too. If you're watching on Facebook, give it a share. If you're watching on Twitter, give it a quick retweet. Always need more people watching these shows, or else it's going to go away. It's how we keep it free. We need the viewers. We need them likes. That's why we're begging for them over here. A few things about the chat. If you talk about Mark Ingram, you're banned for life. If you ask a trade question, or if you ask a question about pickups for the next week, you're banned for life. If you ask a really stupid question that I don't like, you're banned for life. If you ask the same question twice in the chat, you're banned for life. If you start answering other people's questions and filling up the chat, you will be banned for life. Don't be banned for life. You don't want to be one of those people. All right, let's get to the questions. D.D. Westbrook or Hollywood Brown if he plays? I like Dede either way in this spot. I don't want really a gimped up Hollywood Brown who potentially could play like a quarter of the snaps even if he goes. I wouldn't expect him to go, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm going to go retweet this out right now. Taking y'all's questions. Taking questions now. Tweet. All right. Cortland Sutton or DeMarcus Robinson? I do like Robinson a lot in this spot, but I do like... That's a really coin flippy situation. In PPR, let's go with Cortland Sutton. I think he can take advantage of this Titans secondary. It's very close, though. Thoughts about Hunter Henry? He's on our waivers. I have Waller and Delaney Walker. I guess you'd have to play Delaney. You know what? Well, I would objectively play Delaney Walker over Hunter Henry this week. Since you have Darren Waller, I'd risk it with Hunter Henry for this week just to get him on your team. So I'd make that move. Drop Delaney Walker for Hunter Henry because you want him on your team long term. If you really do need a win this week, though, I'd probably still stick with Delaney Walker. Keyshawn Johnson or Byron Pringle in a DK GPP. I still like the Pringle, man. I know Christian Kirk is out, but I've chased the rabbit hole of these Cardinals wide receivers, the non-Larry Fitzgerald, non-Christian Kirk wide receivers all year, and it just doesn't work out. It could be Andy Isabella. It could be Trent Sherfield. Damiere Byrd could end up playing in this game. We don't know. Keyshawn's a fine play if you want to take the risk. I completely get it. It's a gravy matchup. No Trufant either, but now I'm going to stick with Byron Pringle here. Wentz or Stafford? I'll go with Carson Wentz. Breda or Terry McLaurin? I'll go with Terry McLaurin. 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers. Flex, Nick Chubb, and a flex. 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex. You've given me 5 options, so just play all 5 of the guys that you've given me for the 5 spots. Don't leave any of them empty. Can't get that one wrong. It's a terrible fucking question. I should ban you for life. Any concerns with Amari Cooper's awful road splits today? Yes, but what are you going to do about it? Who are you benching Amari Cooper for? You're not going to do that. So unless you have 3 superior options or depending on your league, 2 superior options, and I'm talking about like high-end options, like you're not benching him for Byron Pringle. You're just not. So play Amari Cooper. Pick one. MVS, Robbie Anderson, DeMarcus Robinson. I'll take Robbie Anderson in that matchup. DK Metcalf or Pringle? Better PPR flex. I'll go with Byron Pringle in that spot. More questions. Where's Tim? Tim's celebrating Thanksgiving with his family. Actually, I think he's at a wedding. Our friend got married this week, so everyone I know is there, minus me, because I have to work on a Sunday. Melvin Gordon or Joe Mixon? I would take Joe Mixon. Auden Tate, Robbie Anderson, or Chase Edmonds? I would go with Robbie Anderson. Flex, Keyshawn, Pringle, or Ito? Pringle for me. Matt Breida or Scary Terry. We're not using Scary Terry. We're using, touchdown for Ronald Jones, looks like. There we go. Hopefully it was a passing touchdown. I need them Jameis points. This guy's asked the same question twice. You are going to fuck off and be banned for life. This guy is answering other people's questions. You're banned for life. Pick 2, Standard League. Ridley, Thielen, Hollywood Brown, or Cooks. We're going to cross off Hollywood Brown. I'm going to go with Ridley and Adam Thielen in that spot. Boyd or Kenny Golladay. I like Tyler Boyd a lot against the Ravens. Hopefully, this Bengals offensive line can just hold up a little bit because Boyd's playing the slot and the Ravens have been eaten up by slot receivers. This guy's not asking questions. He's banned for life. Damian Williams, Malcolm Brown, or Austin Eckler. Half point. Even in half point, I'm still going to lean with Austin Eckler in that spot. Michael Thomas or Cooper Kupp, PPR. I love Cooper Kupp. Let's go with Cooper Kupp. Tyler Boyd, McLaurin, Gallup, or Malcolm Brown. Pick 2. I'm going to go Boyd, and I'm going to go with McLaurin. Don't beg, Pat. It's not becoming. That is not a question. You can go fuck yourself. Never watch my show again. You're banned for life. Cowboys instead of Seattle in DK. Sure. If you have the money to pay for Cowboys, go for it. I don't really love either one of those defenses, but I like the Cowboys more than I like the Seahawks this week. PPR flex, Ito Smith or Geronimo Allison, or pick up Preston Williams. I'm going to go with Ito Smith. I think that there's enough viability in that backfield based on his usage and the bad defense of the Cardinals, especially against pass-catching running backs, that boom, we're looking at some Ito Smith, and he's been getting a lot of goal line usage over Devonta Freeman in the running game, at least. Pringle or Keyshawn Johnson? Pringle. Buffalo defense or Miami defense this week? That's funny. You can go pick someone else up. Keep that Buffalo D on your roster, though. Paul Richardson, Willie Snead, or Geronimo Allison, or Kiki. I'm going to go with Willie Snead with no Hollywood Brown playing. Robert Woods or Dede Westbrook? Let's go with Dede Westbrook. If Kittle doesn't play, Witten or Fant, I'd go with Witten. Would you use Robbie Anderson or Keyshawn Johnson? I would use Robbie Anderson. Royce Freeman or Devin Coleman. Since Devin Coleman isn't a real person, I will go with Royce Freeman. OBJ or Fournette in the flex. I like Fournette. Hunter Henry, Deontay Johnson, or Duke Johnson. 1 point PPR. I don't know. I just don't know how this Hodges situation is going to play out. But against the Chargers, Deontay Johnson's not going to end up seeing Casey Hayward. So let's go with Deontay Johnson in that spot. Pick 2, James Conner, Tyler Boyd, Damian Williams. I'll go Conner, and I'll go Boyd. Can you repeat how you get banned for life? Well, that's how you end up getting banned for life. Banned for life. How do you feel about Kerryon Johnson? The fuck is that supposed to mean? Terrible fucking question. Banned for life. People and your stupid fucking questions. Good questions, very accepted here. Terrible questions, banned for life. Andy Dalton or Hodges? I'll go with Hodges. Might as well roll the dice. Sutton, McLaurin, Woods, Kirk, or Juju? No Kirk, so let's throw him right off the list. Go with Juju, we'll go with Woods, and we'll go with McLaurin in this matchup. Worried about Woods. It would come down to Woods versus Sutton, but hopefully you see Sherman on Cooks if Cooks ends up playing. Hopefully Woods can actually do something in this contest. I really do like McLaurin and Juju, though, so we're good on those two. Boyd or McLaurin? I'll go with McLaurin. Hunter Henry or Jason Witten? Still take the upside of Hunter Henry in that spot. Is Kamara limited? What am I, his fucking doctor? I don't have a fucking clue. Look at reports, I suppose, and those might be fake news. We're not going to know that either way. He was on the injury report. He's supposed to play. If he's playing, you play Kamara. Should I drop McCoy? These are not add drop situations. It's a ban for life offense. Would you go with Westbrook or Cardinals D or Gallup and Jets D? Well, I mean, why would you play Gallup against Jets D? I mean, you can, but that seems counterintuitive. Let's go with Westbrook and Cardinals D. This guy is answering someone's questions. You're banned for life. Streaming defense question. Broncos, Green Bay. Who should I pick up this week? I like Green Bay more than I like the Broncos. I see a lot of running in that Broncos-Titans game and not a ton of opportunities for stats. Another terrible questions. What are your thoughts about Mayfield? That's not really a start-sit question now, is it? You're banned for life. Boyd, Lockett, Chark, start as a wide receiver too. It comes down to Boyd and Lockett for me. Let's go with Lockett in this game, slightly over Boyd. Breida or McLaurin? I'll go with McLaurin. Michael Thomas or DeAndre Hopkins? Just straight up, not considering ownership or anything, DeAndre Hopkins is the play. Boyd or Golladay? I like Golladay better in this spot. Both very good options. Pat, do you think Demaryius Thomas is a good sneak play. No, I don't. No one thinks that. What's wrong with you? Give your head a shake. Terrible. What are you doing? There are so many good options on this slate to play. Demaryius Thomas. Kittle or Walt Disley. I'll go with George Kittle. Both good options, though. D. Williams. Don't know what D. Williams you're talking about. Or M. Brown. I'm going to assume that's Malcolm Brown and I don't know. I guess Damian Williams. If it's Damian Williams, either way, just go with Malcolm Brown. Pivot from Malcolm Brown to Carlos Hyde. Yes, I think that's a very viable play. Breda or Tevin Coleman. I go Breda over Coleman. Rosen at quarterback. That's barely a question. You're banned for life. Vikings D. I think that will be a collision and the Seagulls stall. I mean, that's very poor use of English, but sure, do whatever you want. Royce Freeman or Alshon Jeffrey? Alshon Jeffrey. You see, these questions, much better. This guy or this guy? This is what we're doing here on a Sunday morning. Marvin Jones, Mike Williams, or Jamison Crowder. Pick 2. Half-point PPR. Oh, touch up on the coffee. Perfect. I do need it here. We're trying to get through as many questions as we can. Yeah, well, I mean, people are asking shitty questions. I got to take time to ban people for life, so they know. Got to set a precedent for banning for life. I like Marvin Jones. I like Mike Williams. I go Mike Williams and Jamison Crowder. I like Crowder slightly more as a floor play over Marvin Jones. MVS, Hardman, McLaurin, Devonta Freeman, or Austin Eckler. Pick 2 PPR. I like McLaurin and Eckler in that spot. McLaurin or Fuller. I like McLaurin in that spot. Pick 1. Kiki, Snead, P. Rich, or Allison. Ugh. Let's go with Geronimo on Monday night. Kiki or Pringle? I like Pringle. Hyde, Auden Tate, Mike Williams. Pick 1, Carlos Hyde. Who to start? Malcolm Brown or David Johnson? You got to roll the dice on David Johnson, unless he's ruled out. Unfortunately, those are both late games, so it's an easy switch. Chris Carson or Derrick Henry? I like Derrick Henry slightly more this week. Super sleeper, Devontae Parker or Chris Conley? In that spot, I would go with Devontae Parker just because of the upside. Zeke or Cook? I'll go with Zeke, very slightly over Cook, like them both. OBJ or Golladay? I'll go with Golladay. Pat, is Odell the play of the slate, or is Saint Julio going to rupt? You guys are bad at nicknames. Leave the nicknames to me on this one here. Trust me, you're making yourself look ridiculous. Julio. Go Julio over Odell. If you want to take the risk of Odell, listen, when you say play of the slate, I understand the contrarianness of it, the upside with it. I get it completely. I'm just not playing enough lineups for me to make that viable. I'm only playing 3. I prefer Julio over Odell in that spot. Pick 1, Boyd, Derrick Henry, or Gallup, Derrick Henry. Ravens D or Cowboys D? I'll go with Cowboys D. Shockingly, although the Bengals are terrible, Ravens D, not great. So we'll go with Cowboys D. McLaurin, Golladay, or Fuller. Pick 2. I'll go with McLaurin and Golladay in that spot. Mohamed Sanu or Calvin Ridley. I'd shoot for upside, and I'd go with Calvin Ridley. If you want a very, very safe floor play, Sanu is the guy, but I always like shooting for the upside. The big plays, especially against this high game total, bad secondary with the Cardinals with very little pass rush. Let's go with Calvin Ridley. Cooks, Jeffrey, or Fitzgerald? Fitzgerald. Eckler or Malcolm Brown in a non-PPR? In a non-PPR, let's go with Malcolm Brown. Mike Woods or Mike Williams? Mike Woods, not a real person. Mike Williams then. Demarcus Robinson or Carlos Hyde? Flex PPR, let's go with Carlos Hyde. Keyshawn Johnson, Kiki, or Devontae Parker? I'll go with Devontae Parker. Not DFS, but season-long. Start Malcolm Brown or David Johnson. Back is sketchy. Sure, the back is sketchy, but so is the situation for Malcolm Brown in a tougher matchup. Let's go with David Johnson. Wentz, Mahomes, Watson, Mahomes. Always Mahomes. I know he's had the 2 down weeks, and Watson's been awesome. I have Watson as number 2, Mahomes at number 1 this week. It's always Watson. It's always Mahomes number 1 until he strings together like legit awful performances. Pick 2 wide receiver. Pick 2 wide receiver and a flex. Hardman, Sanu, Chris Thompson, Allison, or Crowder. Let's go with Crowder and Sanu in that spot this week. Allison or Pringle or Judge Ito. Let's go with Pringle. Malcolm Brown, Mecole Hardman, Mike Williams, Malcolm Brown. Ingram or Fournette. You asked about Mark Ingram. Guess what? You're banned for life. Get that shit out of my chat. Robert Woods, DJ Chark, Kenny Golladay, Kenny Golladay. Pick 2, Robert Woods. DJ Chark, Will Fuller, Woods, and Chark. Would I go Fuller over Woods? Yeah, let's go Fuller and DJ Chark in this matchup. Pick 2, standard. Diggs, Miles Sanders, Malcolm Brown, Matt Brader, MVS. Malcolm Brown and Stefan Diggs. The matchup's too good to pass up. Kenyon Drake or Malcolm Brown, Malcolm Brown. McLaurin or Gallup, McLaurin. Carson or Chubb, Chubb. Royce Freeman or Tevin Coleman. Full point PPR. Let's go with Tevin Coleman. Malcolm Brown or Austin Eckler. In PPR, let's go with Austin Eckler. Stefan Diggs or McLaurin, McLaurin. Joe Mixon or Malcolm Brown, let's go with Malcolm Brown. Tevin Coleman or Jordan Howard. Ugh. Jordan Howard. Just hopefully he can get in. That's such a bad matchup. Cooper Kupp, Kenny Golladay, Tyler Boyd, pick 2. Cooper Kupp and Kenny Golladay. Fant or Hawkinson. Still no word yet, unless it's come out while I've been doing the show, that Hawkinson's going to play. He's trending towards playing, but I'll still take Noah Fant against the Titans. Gamble with Cutie or Edmonds this week. Gamble with both of them, either one of them. Very poorly constructed question, but I'll say let's go with Chase Edmonds over Kiki Cutie. Kamara and Boyd or Le'Veon and Mike Thomas. I like Le'Veon and Mike Thomas. Crowder or Malcolm Brown. I'll go with Malcolm Brown in that spot. Mecole Hardman, McLaurin, MVS, pick 2. If Hill plays, I'll go with MVS and McLaurin. It's McLaurin for sure. If Hill sits, let's go with Mecole Hardman. Paul, you want to be on lookout for me with some of these injuries here?
Will do.
Thank you, sir. Malcolm Brown or Mixon? Malcolm Brown. Oh, and he asked that question twice, but now the chat skipped on me, so I can't even ban him for life. We're back here. You asked the question. Back-to-back succession. Banned for life. AP or Jamal Williams? Let's go with AP in that spot. Marvin Jones or Mecole Hardman? We'll go with Marvin Jones. Again, the Hardman stuff is a sit. Unless Tyreek Hill sits, then Hardman is like a start. Until Hill is officially ruled out, Mecole Hardman is a sit. McLaurin or Diggs? McLaurin. You feeling a Jax New Orleans game stack? Not really. Not really at all. It's a good game because you know where the ball is going to be going, but I just think there are better games that you can stack. You might be getting a bit too tricky on that one. Do like Saints D, though. Pick 2 wide receiver into flex from Boyd, Juju, Gallup, McLaurin, and Eckler. Let's go McLaurin for sure, then Boyd, then Juju. Play those 3. Yes, sir. Question.
Is there a Twitter account that you think is the best one for me to follow for this?
You can either just log on. You have my Twitter over there. You can just log on to my Twitter and check the feed. But Roto World should tell you.
Yeah, I just have a whole bunch of people talking about MMA on mine. So
so just load up mine. It should be all of the stuff that comes up.
10 for it.
All right. We got tons of these. We're flying through these questions here. Most questions ever answered on this show. We still got half an hour to go. We only have 163 likes, so I might cancel it early unless we can get up to 250 real quickly. Might only do 5 more minutes unless we can get up to 250. And we have 200 questions here in the queue. McLaurin or Diggs? McLaurin. Brown or Hyde? Malcolm Brown or Hyde? I'm going to go with Carlos Hyde. Gallup or DJ Chark? You got to start DJ Chark. I like them both, but let's start DJ Chark. Boyd and Kamara or Michael Thomas or Le'Veon? I believe, is that a repeat question? I'm not sure. You're getting off the hook here. If you ask it again, definitely banned for life. Mike Thomas and Le'Veon Bell is the side of that I like. I'm going to run out of people to ban. I'm going to have to fucking ban you, pal. We'll never run out of people to ban. Come on. Hawkinson or Henry? Let's go with Henry. Pick 2. Woods, Chark, and Fuller. Diggs or Demarcus Robinson? Diggs. Malcolm Brown or Alshon Jeffrey? Alshon Jeffrey. McLaurin or Westbrook? McLaurin. DJ Chark or Michael Gallup? DJ Chark. Jared Cook or Vance McDonald? Vance McDonald. Never playing Jared Cook. Can't do it. Mike Williams or Mecole Hardman? Mike Williams. Yes, Paul.
Adam Schefter, Chiefs wide receiver Tyreek Hill feels good in pregame warm-ups and is now planning to play today.
All right.
And then Chris Mortensen follows up with Tyreek Hill is playing reports, Adam Schefter. So, sounds like Tyreek Hill is in.
I like it. Let's go. Let's fire up some Tyreek Hill here. Paul, if it was you and you had to play one lineup and you had to play a contrarian wide receiver and you had to play one, someone forced you to play one, and you had a choice between Tyreek Hill and Odell, which way would you go? I would go with Hill.
I think Hill's going to be even less owned because there has been like the air yards buzz with Odell, and he hasn't really been all that involved. I think the play, Hill, if he's feeling good, like he's Patrick Mahomes' long lost toy. Like they're gonna be hooking up.
McCaffrey touchdown. The guy's good.
Damn it, I faded him in Showdown.
You faded him in Showdown?
I mean, last time
that's not gonna go well.
Last time these two guys played, this was his bad game.
Yeah,
his only bad game.
That was last time. You can't just say last time this happened, so it's gonna happen.
I just thought
again.
the passing game was gonna be more involved. Like
Hooper or Kittle? Let's go with Hooperton. Kittle might be limited. All things being, I still like Kittle, but Hooper looks like a pretty safe play here. Kenyon Drake or Chris Thompson? Kenyon Drake. Beloved, see, this is a funny one. Beloved cartoonist and Nazi sympathizer Walt Disney or Mark Andrews. People don't know that about Walt Disney. People forget about that era in the late 30s and early 40s, what Walt Disney was up to. You should go look into that. Mark Andrews, still for me, over Walt Disney. TJ Hawkinson or Jimmy Graham? Let's go with Jimmy Graham. This guy's asking trade questions. You're banned for life. Told you. No trade questions on a Sunday. Start or sit? Juju or McLaurin? McLaurin. Damian Williams or Breda? Damian Williams. Philip Lindsay or James Conner? James Conner. Boyd, Derrick Henry or Gallup? Derrick Henry. Jets D or Skins D? I like Skins D better. Jared Goff or Aaron Rodgers? Let's go with Aaron Rodgers. Julio or Justin Hardy? That's a fake question. Mike Williams or Mecole Hardman? Mike Williams. Chris Carson or Devonta Williams, who's not a real person? Chris Carson. Goff or Rodgers? Let's go with Rodgers. Pick three. That's two. 3. Gallup, McLaurin, Woods, Odell, Sutton, or Boyd? McLaurin for sure. Boyd for sure. Let's go Odell as the third one because I like those other two guys. Melvin Gordon or Malcolm Brown? PPR, Malcolm Brown. Royce Freeman or Kiki? I'll go Royce Freeman. We need Banned for Life merch. Maybe we should do some Banned for Life merch. I have to get the life rights to Cuss. We can put his face on it. Or just get Cuss, your Cast shirts. Breda or Damian Williams? Williams in all caps. I mean, if you're going to write a name in all caps, then of course it's the guy in all caps, Damian Williams. Boyd and Kamara? This guy's already asked this question. You tried to sneak it through again. Banned for life. Diggs or McLaurin? Let's go McLaurin. Drake or Alshon Jeffrey? Stick with Alshon. Goff or Rodgers? The third time you've asked that, you're banned for life. MVS, Robbie Anderson, or Mike Williams? Start 1, Robbie Anderson. Devonta Freeman or James Conner? James Conner. Minshew or Keenum? Let's go with Case Keenum. He's on the case against the Dolphins. Fire up some Case Keenum. Devontae Parker, DK Metcalf, or Paul Richardson? I'll take Devontae Parker in a half-point PPR. Now, this guy's still asking this Damian Williams versus Breda question. You can no longer ask questions on the show. You, sir, are banned for life. Woods, Chark, or Fuller? Pick 2. It's the second time that question's been asked. Banned for life. Malcolm Butler or Tevin Coleman? Well, Malcolm Butler plays defense. Probably not going to generate a bunch of scoring, so we'll go with Tevin Coleman. Font or Hawkinson? I'll go with Noah Fant. Will Fuller or Calvin Ridley? Will Fuller. Thielen or Galladay? Thielen. Would you take your chance on Keenum over Goff? Maybe? Now I'll go with Goff. Maybe, though. With DK dropping DST prices, how much ownership on the Jets defense? I have them projected to be the highest owned defense on the slate, somewhere around 17%. I like the Cardinals more than the Jets, and they're coming in at way lower ownership, so use them instead. Who's the other one down there, Paul? The third defense that also sucks that no one's using? It's like the Jets are popular. People use the Cardinals. There's another shitty defense.
Yeah, looking at it right now.
Like the Bengals.
The Bengals. Yeah.
I'm not going to use them.
They're just Baltimore's probably just going to run all games. So
and run all over them, yeah.
Yeah, as long you'd be asking for Mark Ingram fumbles, which
we could get.
Is possible.
But then you have to fade like Gus Edwards. And Gus Edwards is great.
The Gus bus.
Would you go with Jamison Crowder or MVS? I'd actually go with Jamison Crowder. MVS has been a bit banged up here, and the Detroit defense has been pretty good. Keenan Allen, Adam Thielen, DJ Chark, pick 2. I'll go with Keenan, and I'll go with Thielen. It's a tough spot. I mean, it's not a tough spot because they're all good, but I'll go with those two. Fitzgerald or McLaurin? I'll stick with Fitzgerald there. Alshon or Pringle? I have Mahomes. I'd still play Alshon. Pick 2. Coleman, Freeman, Malcolm Brown. Coleman and Malcolm Brown. Minshew or Goff? Goff. This guy's answering people's questions. You're banned for life, asshole. Goff or Minshew? Oh, asking the same question back to back? That's a clear ban for life. Carry-on or Tyreek Hill? I'll stick with carry-on, actually, there. I like carry-on a lot, especially against this, not banged up, but not great Packers run defense. And carry-on's just been legit. The guy gets all the work. Pick one running back, pick one RB2, and 2 flex. So pick 3, I guess. Chris Thompson, Kenyon Drake, Malcolm Brown, Brandon Cooks, Marvin Jones. Malcolm Brown, Kenyon Drake, Marvin Jones. Those are your 3 guys. This man is full of himself. Of course I am. That's why you're watching me, pal. You're fucking banned for life, too. Go fuck yourself. Pick flex. McLaurin, Tevin Coleman, Malcolm Brown. McLaurin. Rather play Saints D in cash games or GPPs? Rather just play them. And what are you doing playing cash games? Quit being a coward. Go try to win $1 million. Auden Tate, Judge Ito, Stephen Diggs, or Hunter Henry. I'll take, pick 2. Stephen Diggs and Auden Tate in that situation. Le'Veon Bell or Derrick Henry. Le'Veon Bell. Mark Ingram. Oh, Mark Ingram, banned for life. Cousins or Goff. Let's play Cousins. Well, this guy's just asking a lot of banned for life questions popping up. Well, I can't see them. Sucks to be you. Snead or M. Brown. If that's Marquise Brown, he's not playing, so it's Snead. But if it's Malcolm Brown, Malcolm Brown. MVS, Robbie Anderson, or Mike Williams, Robbie Anderson. Ravens D playing Bengals. So should I pick Ravens D? Over who? It's a fucking terrible question. I should ban you for life. But I won't, because you can ask that follow-up question. Over who is the question. Coleman or Malcolm Brown? Malcolm Brown. Kenyon Drake or Alshon? Alshon. Seahawks D or Texans D? Ooh, let's go with Seattle D. Brown or Coleman? Let's go with Brown. Landry or Dede for DK? Dede. McCoy or Darrell Henderson? Ugh, McCoy. Henderson might even play a snap in this game. I don't even know. Sit 1. Chubb, Aaron Jones, McLaurin, Tyreek Hill. Ooh. Sit Aaron Jones. Wow, I never thought I'd say that. That's pretty good. Ask... Let's see. Oh, the chat jumped on me here. Keep getting them chats in. We didn't get to 250 in the terms of likes, so 4 minutes left unless we get over, you know what, I'm going to make it 300. If we don't get over 300 likes, we're shutting this down in 4 minutes here. So smash that like button. Malcolm Brown over Beckham, Woods, or McLaurin? Yeah, let's play him over Robert Woods. Why not?
You about to say Hackencuss?
I was going to say Hackencuss, but then the guy said Mark Ingram, so he's banned for life. This guy also asking about Mark Ingram, banned for life. You're just breaking all the rules here. This is a terrible idea. Mark Ingram. Albert Wilson, Devontae Parker, or Aguilar? Albert Wilson for me. DJ Chark or Lockett? Lockett. Chark or D.D. Westbrook? I'll stick with DJ Chark. He's just been too damn good. Can't bench DJ Chark over Dede. Like Dede for the smaller stuff, but, DJ Chark, if he's going to break one, it's going to be big. Melvin Gordon, Austin Eckler, Malcolm Brown, McLaurin, Damian Williams, pick 2 in a PPR. McLaurin for sure. Go with Austin Eckler in a PPR. David Johnson, Devonta Freeman, Carlos Hyde. David Johnson and Carlos Hyde. Baltimore, Tennessee, or Green Bay D. I like Tennessee D. AP or Jamal Williams? AP. Brown or Coleman? Brown. Malcolm Brown or Eckler in a PPR? Eckler. Devonta Williams, not a real person, or Chris Carson? I believe that not only have you asked this question twice, you've asked about someone who doesn't even exist twice. It's fucking stupid. Boyd or Will Fuller? Boyd. Stafford or Cousins? Cousins. Pat Mayo looked like Pee Wee Herman. Yeah, I do get that a lot. I wish I had as much money as Paul Rubens, but I don't. And you spelled looked wrong, so I guess maybe I don't look like Pee Wee Herman, because clearly you can't spell very simple words and have poor judgment. But, either way, handsome fella, Pat Mayo. If you say that stuff, I know you're someone who lives in your parents' basement, is 8,000 pounds overweight. That's the thing. When you start throwing out stuff like that, you're just jealous of how Pat Mayo looks. It's the case. New Orleans, Arizona, or Denver defense? I like New Orleans D. Pringle start? He is starting, so yes, Pringle. D.D. Westbrook or Mohamed Sanu? D.D. Westbrook. Bridgewater or Minshew? Let's go with Teddy Bridgewater in that spot. Kittle or Disley? Kittle. Malcolm Brown, Disley or AP? Malcolm Brown. Kenyon Drake or LaShawn McCoy? Kenyon Drake. MVS, Robbie Anderson, or Mike Williams, Robbie Anderson. Breda or Pringle? Let's go with Pringle. Let's roll the dice a little bit. Dede or Diggs? Let's go with Dede. Keenan Allen, Adam Thielen, DJ Chark, standard Keenan Allen. Joe Mixon, Willie Snead, DJ Chark, or Ertz. Minshew or Keenum. Sutton or Kittle. Mike Williams or Woods. Lamar or Watson. Kittle or Disley, Kittle. Lindsey or Malcolm Brown. DJ Chark, do I start DJ Chark and Kamara? Over who? Over no one? Yes. Start them. You better start them over not leaving it fucking empty. How about that? That's a terrible fucking question. Mixon or Malcolm Brown? Cooper or Gallup? Let's go with Cooper. Galladay or Boyd? Galladay. Fuller or OBJ? I'll take OBJ in the case of the let's go with upside here. Fuller's probably safer, to be honest, but I'll roll the dice. Gordon or Eckler? Hardman or Sanders? Now that Tyreek is in, Miles Sanders. Le'Veon or Derrick Henry? Go with Le'Veon because of the catches. Carry-on, Aaron Jones, Tyreek, pick 2. Let's go with Carry-on and Tyreek in this spot. Malcolm Brown or Shady? Malcolm Brown. This guy has asked this same question like 5 times. You're banned for life. Mecole Hardman or Emmanuel Sanders? Sanders. Hopkins or Julio? Hopkins. Do you like a Cup, Mark Andrews, Hooper, first TD parlay? I mean, that's a loser, but if you want to play it, go for it. I bet you it pays a ton. I mean, you're getting pretty greedy there. Like a first touchdown prop pays enough as it is parlaying 3 together, as unlikely as it is. Hey, it probably pays out like 500 to 1, so go for it if you want to. Devonta Freeman or Kenyon Drake? Drake. Hopkins / Malcolm Brown or Le'Veon Bell and Westbrook? Le'Veon Bell and Westbrook. Malcolm Brown or Will Fuller? Standard. Let's go with Will Fuller. Rosen or Keenum? Keenum. Pick 2. Keenan Allen, Adam Thielen, DJ Chark, the first 2. Keenan Allen and Adam Thielen. We have 3 minutes to get to those 300 likes. We're not there yet, or we're shutting it down early. Mike Williams or Christian Kirk or Miles Sanders. Kirk probably not going to play, so Sanders versus Williams. Let's go with Mike Williams. Start 1. McLaurin or Boyd? McLaurin. Gallup or Cooper? Cooper. Lamar or Watson or Ryan? Deshaun Watson. Gallup, Hardman, or MVS? Let's go with Gallup. Snead or Westbrook? Westbrook. Half real question, half point. Latavius Murray. Good God. I like answering the real questions. I really do.
I think he meant Latavius Murray.
That's still not a start sit.
No.
That's just a name. So over bench, then yeah, play
With
Latavius.
Kamara back, I would say no, don't play him.
Yeah.
But also don't play Mirth.
Mirth.
He doesn't exist.
Unless you're going to visit Jesus, you should probably leave the mirth at home, pal. Devontae Parker or Pringle? Pringle. Oh, real question. Latavius Murray or Mark Walton? That's tough. That was the question. Latavius Murray would be the answer to that question. Mark Walton is over Kalen Ballage on the depth chart now. Kittle or Henry? Kittle. Melvin Gordon, Malcolm Brown, or Tevin Coleman? Malcolm Brown. Darrell Henderson or Drake? Drake. Landry, Marvin Jones? Let's go with Landry. This guy's asking fucking first touchdown props and asking it again. That's a ban for life. Miles Sanders or Kiki? Miles Sanders. Alshon Jeffrey, Boyd, or Sanu? Pick 2, Jeffrey and Boyd. Quinn or Pringle? Pringle. Breda or Royce? Breda. Standard League, pick 2. Mixon, Breda, Brown, MVS, or Tyreek Hill? Tyreek and Mixon. Tyreek and Malcolm Brown. Fant, Hawkinson, or Delaney Walker? Delaney Walker. Hopkins, Pringle. Hopkins and Pringle, or Fuller and Dede? Let's go with Hopkins and Pringle. Going to be very chalky, but I still like it. Baltimore, Green Bay, or Tennessee? Tennessee. Hill is in, yes. Tyreek Hill or Malcolm Brown? Tyreek Hill. Aaron Rodgers or Minshew? Let's go with Aaron Rodgers. Galladay, Chark, Mixon. Pick 2. Mixon and Galladay. Paul, update.
It's not very important, but Jakeem Grant is out, so I guess.
So, Albert Wilson.
Yeah.
He's the keek to sneak of the week. Tell me when to go. If David Johnson plays, should I drop Edmonds for Gus Bus? I mean, we're not going to know officially if he's playing or not until later. I would listen. David Johnson's banged up. If you own him, you should own Chase Edmonds. Just keep Chase Edmonds. Cup or Michael Thomas? Cup. Edwards, Chase Edmonds, or Jamal Williams. If I don't have David Johnson to play, I will play Gus Edwards over Chase Edmonds. Obviously, if we find out that David Johnson's all of a sudden not playing, and we know that before the early game start, then the answer would clearly be Gus Edwards. But as it stands right now, Gus Edwards. Full point PPR flex. Sanders or Miles Sanders or D.D. Westbrook? D.D. Westbrook. Not at the 300 yet. We got 1 minute to go. Shawn Michaels or The Rock? Love both, but clearly I'm a The Rock guy. Pick 2, half point. Coleman, Breda, Drake, Marvin Jones. Drake and Breda for me. Pringle still good with Hill back? Yes, that's more of a walk-in situation right there. Latavius Murray or Mark Walton? I think I already answered that one. Baltimore D or Dallas D? Dallas D. How do you like Banned for Life? Not even who do you like. How do you... You sound like a fucking character from Twin Peaks or Greg from Greg is Not an Alien. Fucking get it together. Eckler or Gordon? Eckler. Cooper, Gallup, or OBJ? Cooper. Duke Johnson, Kirk, or Sanders? Sanders. Even in a standard league. DeAndre Hopkins or Cooper Kupp? Cooper Kupp. James Conner or Aaron Jones? James Conner. The Terminator. Tevin Coleman, Calvin Ridley, D.D. Westbrook? D.D. Westbrook. Sprinkle or Henry? There I would still play Henry. Sprinkle's just more of a GPP play on DraftKings if you need to save the monies. Derrick Henry, Le'Veon Bell, and Fournette, GPP. That's not really an or question. You're just saying play those guys. Sure, go for it. Pick 1, Devonta Freeman or Keyshawn Johnson? Devonta Freeman. Malcolm Brown or Melvin Gordon? Malcolm Brown. Russell Wilson or Dak Prescott? Dak Prescott. Landry or Marvin Jones? Landry. Tevin Coleman or Miles Sanders? Full point PPR. I like Miles Sanders here. Fuller or Michael Gallup? Let's go with Michael Gallup. We're not at the 300. That's unfortunate. We got 30 seconds to get there. Alshon or Malcolm Brown? Malcolm Brown. Snead or Geronimo? Snead. This guy is just stating things you're banned for life. No one really cares what you have to say. When I say no one really cares, just straight up no one gives a fuck what you have to say about when you're weighing in on this. Eckler or Malcolm Brown? PPR? Eckler. Breda or Mixon? Mixon. Gallup or McLaurin? McLaurin. Hit the... Hill active. Pringle still usable? Yes. AP or Chris Thompson and Cash? AP. Thielen, Boyd, or Tyreek Hill? Pick 1. Let's go with Tyreek Hill. He's back. Let's fire him up. Fournette or Chris Carson? I like Fournette, sorry. Hill or Thielen? Hill. Would you start Minshew over Rodgers? I would not. How do you like it? Like the episode? Oh, man, you got problems. Malcolm Brown or Juju? Malcolm Brown. And for GPPs, Russell Wilson or Dak? Dak. We got to the 300. We're going to go to the full time to 11 a.m. here. Thank you all. Continue to smash the like button, retweet, and share this shit around. All right? Woods or Damian Williams? Damian Williams. Thoughts on Jared Cook? That makes you banned for life. You know I hate Jared Cook. Come on now. David Johnson or Leonard Fournette? Leonard Fournette. AP or Chris Thompson? AP. Mike Williams or Tevin Coleman? Mike Williams. On a scale of 1 to 10, how straight are you? I don't see how that ends up mattering. I mean, I do live in Canada, so gay marriage is good, but I am wearing my wedding ring, and I already have a child and a wife, so unless I am really good at hiding things, which, as many of you know, I am not, pretty straight at this point. But I guess on the scale of 1 to 10, I'd give myself a 10, but apparently you're giving me a 1 out there. Whatever you want Pat Mayo to be to you to continue to tune in, hey, you know, if you're just some creepy guy and you just want to have a beat in the basement to the Sunday morning chat, I mean, that's on you. Whatever you do in the privacy of your home, Pat Mayo is all for that. Just you don't tell me about it because I don't want to be creeped out. Lamar Jackson or Matt Ryan? Lamar Jackson. Pick 1 GPP, Derrick Henry, Fournette, or Bell. For GPPs, let's go with Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry. Drake or Breda? Breda. Edmonds if Johnson sits, or Eckler. I'd play Edmonds if Johnson sits. Yes, I would do that. Murray or Hardman, Latavius Murray. Let's go with Wilson or Watson, Watson. Who do you like today, Miami or the Skins? I like the Skins, actually. Mahomes or Lamar, Mahomes. Breda or Johnson? I don't know what Johnson that is. I really have no idea. Woods or Coleman? Woods. MVS or Diggs? Diggs. Ertz or Alshon? Ertz. Yeah, looks like we're out of questions. All right, Paul, out of questions. We got to them all.
Yay!
It's pretty good.
You did great.
Well,
you were very, you're very angry at the chat today, though.
I should be angry. Listen, I was not
There
angry.
was a lot of people going against the rules, in fairness.
Yeah,
maybe we need Hall Monitor Cust here more often. Like, he keeps everybody kind of in line because they know he's got those bans. Everyone was just getting banned today. Everyone's getting banned for
Well,
life.
once I banned
and by
all
life,
the
I mean the end of this episode.
The whole reason to ban it is so I can get to all of these questions as efficiently as possible.
And you got to them.
And by banning all the people from cluttering the chat, I was able to get all the questions. You know what? I'll just sit here for another 5 minutes and answer some questions if you guys got them. Let's see here. Cowboys D or Chargers D? Chargers D. If Johnson is out, Fitz or Edmonds at the flex? Still Fitz, just because there's not going to be Christian Kirk. Landry, Cooks, Sanders, and Hill, pick 3. Let's go with Hill. I don't know if that's Miles or Emmanuel Sanders. Landry and Sanders. DJ Moore is playing right now. That's real insight right there. Congratulations. Latavius or Malcolm Brown? Malcolm Brown. Hawkinson or Dede in the flex? Dede. Breda or Fuller? Fuller. Gallup or Ridley? Gallup. Diggs or Westbrook? Westbrook. Aaron Jones or Connor? Connor. This guy's asking about Mark Ingram. That's an easy ban for life. Jets D or Jax D? Jax D. Freeman or Gordon? Gordon. This guy's got a question for you. Wiley or Joanna, Paul Shag?
Wiley Zhang. I'm not taking much away from Joanna beating Michelle Watterson. Michelle Watterson was pretty washed anyway. But it was a good performance. Nice little bounce back for Joanna, but I'm not impressed.
I don't get why people are on Michelle Watterson. I know she's the karate hate, but she couldn't even win on the challenge. How is she going to win in the U.S.? She could barely beat Anissa in the challenge.
Fair point. Well, Anissa's probably like
twice her size,
$160, and Watterson's like 115. Doesn't really cut very much weight.
40,
she used to
50.
fight at 105 pounds. So in fairness, she's giving up like 50% body size.
Mike Williams just dropped a 60-yard catch. Thanks,
Mike Williams.
Mike Evans. Sorry, okay. I'm turning into the guys in the chat. Fuller, Diggs, Juju, Malcolm Brown, or Ridley. Pick one, I guess. Juju. Diggs or Woods? Woods. Chubb or Cook? Oh, now we got more questions. Aaron Rodgers, or Lamar Jackson. Lamar. You go over Steelers Chargers. I'm just staying away from that. Malcolm Brown or Darrell Henderson? Malcolm Brown. Or should I just play both together? That is a fucking terrible idea. Gallup or Malcolm Brown in standard? Malcolm Brown. Niners D or Ravens D? Niners D. Alshon Jeffrey or Brandon Cooks? That's too many Cooks. Alshon Jeffrey. LaShawn McCoy or Emmanuel Sanders? Emmanuel Sanders. Hardman or Tevin Coleman? Tevin Coleman. Arizona, New Orleans, or Tennessee defense? New Orleans D. Chris Thompson or Kenyon Drake? Kenyon Drake. Diggs or Woods? Diggs. Hunter Henry or Jared Cook? Please answer. Oh, I'm not going to answer. You can check the rankings for that one. Jared Cook. Sprinkler or Swain? Sprinkler. Diggs / grab Hardman or Drake? Just play Diggs. Connor or Carry-On? Let's go with Carry-On. Ridley or Sutton? Ridley. Keyshawn Johnson or Devonta Freeman? Devonta Freeman. Tyreek Hill or McLaurin? Tyreek Hill. D. Williams or D. Freeman? Do not play D. Freeman over D. Williams. McLaurin or Gallup? McLaurin. Kittle or Disley? Kittle. Fuller, Diggs, Juju, Malcolm Brown. Really? That's a question that's been asked twice. You're banned for life. Custer Garrian, fullback at the 1 yard line. What do you think, Paul?
Tim's a big boy.
Tim's a big dude. Tim's like 6'3".
Yeah, Tim's got a lot of size on Garrian.
Tim's like Brandon Jacobs out there.
I'm not stuck. Like I used to play I used to play some football. I'm not stuffing Tim at the 1.
Tim
he's got like 5 inches of height on me at least. He's got some size, weight. Yeah, I'm not stopping Tim. I could stuff Gary in at the line.
I mean, Tim
No
does
doubt.
run a 7.540, as we found out.
Yeah, but
You might not have the momentum to get
Jerome the Bus
Yeah,
Bettis was not really
there.
breaking
I
any
am
combine
throwing this out
records
here.
either.
I don't think that Andercuss is the athlete that Jerome Bettis is.
Fair point.
McLaurin or Gallup? McLaurin. Coleman, Tevin Coleman, or Ridley? Boyd or Mixon? Boyd. Henry or Witten? Henry. What's your favorite GPP defense, which are not the top 3 listed on DK? I mean, I have an entire article on this on DK Playbook. It's either Rams, Cardinals, or Saints. Those are my favorite 3. We'll go with Saints as my overall favorite, though. But Cardinals saves you so much money. Dalton or Baker? Ugh, Baker. Kittle or Disley? Kittle. Mike Williams or Auden Tate? Auden Tate. Cup versus Kelsey? Cup. All right, we got time for 5 or 6 more here. Smash the like button while you're at it, too. We got to get over 300. You can still do it. Tyreek Hill ownership today? I have no idea. I'm going to say 5% max. Kenyon Drake or Chris Thompson? Kenyon Drake. 49ers or Vikings? D. 49ers D. How do you know about Keek de Sneak being from Canada? You realize, I don't even want to get into it. You Americans are fucking stupid. Not all of you, but a lot of you. How would I know that? I don't know. How are you watching me right now from America and I'm in Canada? Fucking morons. Cook or AP? Let's go. Cooks or AP, sorry. AP. Vance McDonald or Fant, or Vance McDaniel or Fant. Vance McDaniel, not a real person, so we'll go with Noah Fant. Alshon or Pringle? Alshon. Malcolm Brown or Damian Williams? Damian Williams. Pettis or Cutie? Ugh, go pick someone up. You can go pick up Pringle, but Cutie of those two. Kyler and Fitz or Ryan or Ridley? Kyler and Fitz. Tim Anderbus, touchdown. That's pretty good, Paul. What do you think?
Love it.
Jeff or Cam at the 1-yard line?
Oof.
Take Cam's
I'm gonna go with
Cam
Cam.
is shocking. Cam's old. Cam has 10 years on Jeff. But Cam shockingly was a good athlete. And he has big man mobility. Everyone knows their one big fat friend that is shockingly mobile. That's Cam.
Yeah, then the answer is Cam. What about Cam versus Tim?
Cam versus I'd take Cam for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. You know this side better than me.
Yeah. Tucker versus Gonzalez, kickers. I have no idea. I don't even play in a league with kicker, but I bet Gonzalez over 7.5 points, so I guess Gonzalez. Mixon or Thompson? Mixon. Oh, hyphy movement enthusiast. I mean, like I said, I'm an E40 guy. But I thought it said home improvement enthusiast, and I'd just be like, Pick 2. Michael Gallup, McLaurin, Fuller, or Alshon. First 2, Gallup and McLaurin. Serious question, you moron. Just answer. That sounds like you're going to be banned for life, asshole. Redskins D or Niners D? Redskins D. Norm MacDonald or John Candy? Both Canadians? How do you know about them? They're Canadian. Shocking. Now, of course, I love Norm, but I'm a John Candy guy. Full point PPR, Chark or Beckham? Chark. Bell or Fournette? Fournette. Rivers or Cousins, and McDonald or Eifert. I mean, you can pick up Sprinkle and play him over those two losers. You can check out my tight ends list in the description here. I have a whole list of rankings, ranked in order of how I would play them. So I have better options than those two. I'd play Cousins over Rivers, though. Witten or Kittle? Kittle. Julio or OBJ? OBJ. Pat or Anderbus at QB? I would take myself as I actually played quarterback, and I think Andercuss was a guard when he played. Anderson or Crowder for the Jets? If you're playing in a GPP, it's Anderson. If you're playing cash games, it's Crowder. I know that's such a fucking cop-out answer, but you want to go with the upside of Anderson. You need safety in cash, then you're going to use the safe floor of one Jamison Crowder. Henry or Fournette? Fournette. Fitz or Lockett? Lockett. Is Ramsey out? It looks that way. I haven't seen the inactive list, though. We'll find that out in half an hour. Tell me when to go. Maybe I got to get out of here and go ghost ride my car. Snead or Tate? Tate. Chargers or Steelers? Chargers D, actually. SETV or Kids in the Hall? I like SETV better. Kids in the Hall weirds me out, shockingly enough. Broncos or 49ers? Let's go with Niners. Chark or Diggs? Chark. Auden Tate or Malcolm Brown? Malcolm Brown, sorry. Kyler or Deshaun? Deshaun. I got time for one more. Whoever's next, you get your question answered. So we didn't get to 350 likes. So next person, just to put it in there, it's all you. Chark or Westbrook? I will go with Chark. That is my option for the day. Meany or Sealy for a Hail Mary? Go Sealy.
Sealy's actually a pretty good hockey player. I've played ball hockey with him.
Meany, you mean?
That's what I meant.
Meany was
I don't know about Sealy. Like, I have no idea about his athletic background, but like Meany was like legit the best player on our ball hockey team. So I imagine his skills would transfer over to football.
Maybe. I mean, I know Sealy played in high school, and he's like a scratch golfer. Generally, scratch golfers, like if you're not a professional golfer and that's all you do, if you're just randomly like a scratch golfer, you tend to be just a pretty good athlete. That's who you end up picking up. Meany was a super high level hockey player though. So I don't know. Take the ranginess. I bet you Jake's a bit faster. I don't know.
Ooh, interesting.
Lamar or Russell Wilson? Lamar. Goff or Wilson? Wilson. OBJ or Hill? Hill. Chark or Diggs? Chark. Coleman or Chark? Chark. McLaurin or Boyd? McLaurin. Oh, end the stream with my best Thiz face. Maybe. Eckler or Connor? Connor. Coke or Pepsi? I drink neither. So, hence why I'm so beautiful. That's part of the deal here. You got to give up some of the things you like. When I did drink soda, I drank Coke. Well, I don't mind Pepsi. I'm not like Cost who's like, I can't drink Pepsi. I'll drink 18 Diet Coke a day, though. Niners or Vikings D? Niners D. Last one. Sit one. Delvin, Le'Veon, Damian Williams, or Malcolm Brown. You sit Malcolm Brown. There. Hookah Nukchuk. Sounds like an Iroquois name. I don't know. Or it's just really bad spelling of things. Who knows? Connor or Carry-On Johnson. Drake or Emmanuel Sanders? Drake. The 6. Paul, thanks for chiming in here. You can follow Paul on Twitter at PaulShag. Any final thoughts?
Not really, yeah. There hasn't really been any news. I've been monitoring the whole time, and it's everyone just freaking out about how bad Jameis is, basically, and how good McCaffrey is.
Oh, Jameis not having a good game?
No.
Was it a Jameis passing touchdown at least?
I haven't been watching.
I assume it's not. I've just been watching the highlights out of the corner of my eye on my iPad right here. Let's see. I'm going to check that before I get out of here. It was not. Oh, he has 2 picks as well and has been sacked 6 times.
Yeah, he's having a rough
If you go to the rankings, you'll notice that after New England, I took them out of the rankings. Carolina was my number 1 defense of the week. So hope that worked out for you and you got yourself a lead. But anyway, all my props are posted on Twitter. They're also posted on my Facebook and Instagram page. All my rankings, DK cheat sheet, all the shows, they're all in the description of this podcast, or actually this is just the video now. So of the video, if you want my answers on things, you can check it out. I am not sorry for being angry with you people out there that was just with your fucking terrible questions. The people who left the good questions, look how fast it made the chat go. We got through every single question. Every single one. That never happens. So hopefully, now that those people are banned for life and they can't come back, then we're all doing good here. But now that I've answered your questions, we're out of here. Best of luck in week 6. Go fill the Pat Mayo Listeners League. I don't know what we're at right now. Let's see. Upcoming contests. There's 70 spots left in the Pat Mayo Listeners League. $15 to enter. No rake. There's no rake. Fucking play in the contest, people. Figure this out. It's the best contest on DraftKings. The link is in the description of this video. Super easy to get. If you can't figure it out, you might just want to quit doing like life because you can't figure anything out if you can't figure that out. All right? I'm Pat Mayo. Thank you all for watching. Enjoy, at least, having been insulted by me. I'll see you next time.